So here's our system of equations, and scope this out real quick by looking at the bottom two. What's going to be easy about the bottom two equations? Yeah, you've got a 3 and a 9 in there. You got a 9 and then a 3. Change my pointer. There we go. 9 and 3. So we would only have to multiply the bottom one by what? 3. That means that the second one stays the same. 9x minus 4y plus 9z equals a negative 22. But this one here is multiplied by 3 because we want to get a 9 out front. So that would give us 9x minus 12y minus 6z equals 15. We have two positive 9s on the left. What operation should I use? Subtraction. So if we subtract, those 9x's are gone, and that's what we want. So now we have to go back through and do negative 4 minus a negative 12. Negative 4 minus a negative 12 is a positive 8. 9 minus a negative 6 is a positive 15. And then negative 22 minus 15 is a negative 37. You should write that one down and hold it for another spot. 8y plus 15z equals a negative 37. Now, what two equations do we have to look at next? Top two. So if we look at the top two, what's easy about this is that you have a 9 here and then a negative 3 there. What should we multiply the top one by? 3. So if we multiply the top one by 3, we'll do that down here at the bottom, you'll get a negative 9x minus 12y minus 3z equals negative 12. The second one we don't have to multiply by anything. It's just 9x minus 4y plus 9z equals a negative 22. We have a negative 9 and a positive 9. What's the operation we use? Addition. So if we add them together, they cancel out. Negative 12 plus a negative 4 is negative 16. And then we'll have negative 3 plus 9 is a positive 6. And negative 12 plus negative 22 is a negative 34. That one you need to hold, and we're going to take that to the next screen. Negative 16y plus 6z equals negative 34. You also want to take with that the negative 3x minus 4y minus z equals a negative 4, the very first equation. So if we take those over to the next screen, we want to set them up like this. Negative 3x minus 4y minus z equals negative 4 is the first equation, and then 8y plus 15z equals negative 37 is the second, and negative 16y plus 6z equals negative 34 is the third equation. Of these three equations, what two equations do we have to work with now? The second one and not the top one. The bottom. Yeah, the bottom two. And on the bottom two, we have an 8 and then a negative 16 out here on the left. How can I make those match up?
The 8 times by 8. No, times by 2.
Yeah, multiply by 2. So we want to multiply this middle equation by 2 so that we can get a 16 here. So if you multiply the middle equation by 2, you get 16y plus 30z equals a negative 74, and then negative 16y plus 6z equals negative 34 stays the same. We have opposite signs here on the y, so that means we have to add. And when we add, these cancel out. That's the purpose of making them the same type of number. Then you move on to 30. You have 30z plus 6z, which would be 36z. And then you have a negative 74 plus a negative 34, which is a negative 108. And that works out neat because negative 108 divided by 36 will give us an answer of a negative 3 for z. And once you reach this point, you can go backwards and solve for y and then solve for x. So on the next screen, we start with negative 3x minus 4y minus z equals negative 4. Keep our second equation the way it was, 8y plus 15z equals negative 37, and we found z to be equal to negative 3. So we can solve backwards from there. Plug in z equals negative 3 to this spot here, and that's 8y plus 15 times a negative 3 equals negative 37. 8y minus 45 equals a negative 37. And move that minus 45 to the right and make it plus. Simplify the right to get 8. And it works out really neat to where we get y equals 1. So we have z equals negative 3 and y equals 1. You have to plug both of these back into y and z in the very top equation to solve for x. So on the top equation you'll have a negative 3x and then minus 4 times 1, which we found for y, and then minus the negative 3 that we found for z. And all of this is equal to a negative 4. So simplify it to get negative 3x minus 4 plus 3 equals negative 4. On the left there, we can make this negative 4 plus 3 to get a minus 1. And then move that minus 1 to the right and make it plus 1. Gives us a negative 3. And then divide negative 3 by negative 3 to get a 1. So you end up with a final answer of 1, 1, and then negative 3. And make sure you put them in order x, y, and then z. Try this when you can work with a partner. You can do it by yourself. If you finish early, we can do some bonus problems until everybody else has had a chance to do it.